Backing up keyboard layouts. We've looked at backing up preferences and macros. This time we'll get into backing up keyboard layouts in this edition of Stuart's Audacity Tips. First, what is a keyboard layout? It's the map of keyboard shortcuts defined for your instance of Audacity. If you've ever changed a keyboard shortcut in the keyboard pane of the Preferences dialog, what's called shortcuts in more recent versions, you've changed your keyboard layout. As with macros, Audacity has the ability to export your keyboard layout. In the Preferences dialog box, click on Keyboard in the left pane or Shortcuts in more recent versions. The keyboard map shows in the right pane and the Import, Export, and Defaults buttons appear below that. If you click the Export button, Audacity will prompt for a file location with the file name audacity-keys.xml preloaded. Click OK and the keyboard layout is saved to that file. If you open that file in Notepad in Windows or TextEdit on a Mac, you'll see something that contains code like this, in part. Each of the keys is represented by a command element. Each of those elements has a name attribute and a key attribute. The name is what shows up in the Audacity Preferences panel and is the name of a command within Audacity. And the key is the key or key combination that you've assigned for that command. If there's no shortcut assigned, the key just says key equals ... an empty string. This file shows every command that can be performed with the keyboard in Audacity. On the other hand, Audacity's configuration file has a different way of storing your keyboard layout. Remember, the Audacity configuration file is called audacity.cfg and it's located here. In the audacity.cfg file, there's a section called New Keys. It stores definitions for keyboard shortcuts, but here's the difference. It only stores the keys that you've changed from the default layout. Here's that section from one of my computers in its entirety. As you can see, there are only 3 lines. That's because I've only defined 2 keyboard shortcuts of my own, Q and W. The third line is because Q is assigned to another command by default, and I've changed that assignment. So Audacity stores that by showing the default command now has no shortcut. Which brings me back to the default keyboard. Remember the default button in the keyboard pane of Preferences? When you click that and verify that you want to reset your keyboard to default settings, Audacity removes the lines from the New Keys section of audacity.cfg. This indicates that all the default keyboard shortcuts should be used. One more tip for exporting and importing keyboard settings. You can create a custom keyboard file and share it with other Audacity users. Just export your keyboard, then open the export file at audacity-keys.xml if you use the default file name, and edit it so that it only contains the shortcuts you want to share, like this. When you import a limited keyboard map like this, Audacity only changes those shortcuts that are included in the file. This is a great way to share your favorite key mappings with other Audacity users. And here's one more little Christmas present. Visit this URL. That's the home of my amazing key map transmogrifier from Stuart's Audacity Tips number 40. This tool takes your keymap XML file exported from the Preferences keyboard pane and turns it into a printable format according to the options you choose. Here's a sample of some of the output. So now you can create printable cheat sheets of your own keyboard map. Hope it helps. The final installment in this backing up series looks at plugin settings. Stay tuned. Hope this helps. I'm Stuart.